Hello and good morning. It's Phil Thatch, and Heather and I are here at the Chickamauga Battlefield in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. And we came down here because we have heard that there are barred owls in this area. So we came down to the area where we had heard that they were, and we kind of started looking around for those. But we're shooting with some different stuff today. What are you using, Heather?
I've got the Canon R6, a 1.4 extender, and my 100 to 500.
Yep, Heather has purchased her own 100 to 500 lens. Mine is still at home in the lens cabinet, and we're both waiting for our Canon R7 cameras to come in. But while we're waiting, I thought, you know what, I'll let Heather use the Canon R6 and she can use her lens. And I've gone old school today. I'm shooting with the Nikon D500 APS-C DSLR and the 200 to 500 lens, which is a great combination. And but before we left the neighborhood, we stopped and saw there was a bunny rabbit in one of our neighbor's yards, and I hung the camera out the window and made a photograph of a beautiful yard bunny. Let's take a look at that first. Here is the yard bunny photo in the neighbor's yard. We were just driving up the road and I saw it, and I just stopped and grabbed the camera and pointed it out the window. The poor yard bunny has a lot of ticks on its ear, which is unfortunate, but it is a cute specimen. Well, we have seen the barred owl a couple of times and tried to make photos of it, but it's really high up in the canopy, and it's backlit, and the trees are very full of foliage. It's June the 5th today, I believe. And you know, when we went to Percy's barred owl location, that was so early in the spring there was no leaves on the trees. So even though there was a lot of branches in the way of our shot, at least we could see the bird even when it was kind of deep in the woods. But here, you really can't see it. You might see it fly for a second and then it'll land, but once it lands, you can't see it. So we're really struggling. Also, we've seen a Cooper's hawk, which I don't think either one of us have gotten a picture of. And we've seen some other birds. We heard a yellow warbler, but haven't seen it. And I think I got a picture of the yellow-bellied, of the red-bellied woodpecker. I don't know if you did.
I might. I have one in focus, but it's at 25,600 ISO. So.
Cool. All right. Well, we're going to keep working, and in the meantime, we'll show you some of what we've seen so far. We were kind of struggling at the first location, but I did manage to get this photograph with the D500 and the 200 to 500 of the male red-bellied woodpecker. And here is Heather's photograph of the barred owl. Very backlit, but she used the exposure compensation dial to kind of blow the sky out and make the bird exposed correctly. And I got one somewhat decent photograph of the bird in a different location, so fortunately I didn't have all that much sky in my shot, but we only saw it for brief moments 2 or 3 times. Usually it was deep in the forest. Well, we got tired of failing to make decent owl photos because while we could occasionally see it, it was always way deep in the foliage. So we decided to go to our old strategy and ride around with me in the driver's seat and Heather in the back seat on the driver's side. And we went not far down the road at all, and we found this area where it looks like they do maintenance on the park here, the Chickamauga Battlefield Park. And there's a cable across the road, but it was open today, and we pulled in here and I said, this place looks like a bird place. This reminds me of the equestrian trail in Hamilton County. And sure enough, immediately we found a Indigo Bunting that we took a number of photos of, and then we found a Kentucky Warbler, which is something that we haven't made many photographs of ever. And so we made some photos of it, and we've been hearing also a WhiteEyed Vireo, but so far we have not made a photo of it. But let's take a look at some Indigo Bunting and some Kentucky Warbler photos from this unusual location. All right, there is the Indigo Bunting, and we think this might be like a first-year male. It's not all blue yet, and a very beautiful bird. And I started out struggling a little bit, but I finally, even though the autofocus is not what I'm used to using lately, I did end up making this photo, which I thought turned out absolutely fantastic. And then here are some Kentucky Warbler shots that I was happy to be able to make. We took lots and lots of pictures, but most of them I wasn't happy with. But these two right here, both on the same perch, the first shot not singing, and then this second shot here, it was doing some singing. I was really happy with both of those. Are you having fun with your new lens?
Yes.
Let me see it. Awesome. Here are Heather's photographs of the beautiful Indigo Bunting. Again, we think this one is a slightly immature male, nearly mature male with not entirely blue in color. This may be a different one. There were 2 or 3 Indigo Bunting there, and I love this pose here on this stump. I failed to get a photograph of the bird on the stump, but Heather got a really nice shot. And here is the beautiful Kentucky Warbler. And in this shot, you can see the high contrast lower parts of the bird. And look at this next one. She's got the bird as it's just about to take off. It almost looks like a circus performer on a high wire, sticking its wings out as its balance beam to keep it from falling. And then in this shot, you can see the back of the bird, the top and back of the bird, where it has kind of an olive drab color, nowhere near as bright and contrasty as the front of the bird. And on this one, you can kind of see both the olive drab and the bright and contrasty colors of the beautiful Kentucky Warbler, a bird we have not photographed very much. We finally got the WhiteEyed Vireo. See how thick it is right here? That's perfect habitat for a WhiteEyed Vireo, and we've watched it hop around for a long time, and you can still hear it singing. But anyway, every once in a while it would come out in the front long enough to get a shot. And I think Heather probably has more shots than me, but I think I finally did get one of the WhiteEyed Vireo. It's kind of fun using the D500. You know, I haven't used it in a long time, and it is perfectly capable wildlife photography camera. The combination of the D500 and the 200-500 works really great, but I will tell you that the hit rate in terms of shots that are in focus is much lower than the Canon R6. Of course, it's, you know, that's probably half a decade newer autofocus system in the R6, so that makes perfect sense. But the D500 is still a perfectly capable bird photography camera. The light was really harsh in the area where the WhiteEyed Vireo finally came out of the foliage enough for us to get photographs of it. But here is my shot with the D500 and the 200-500. And around the same time that we were making photos of the WhiteEyed Vireo, we saw the Indigo Buntings again as well. So here is another one of my Indigo Bunting shots. And now here are Heather's photographs. This is her photograph of the WhiteEyed Vireo. They're on the same perch that I got my photograph on. And Heather also made a couple of really nice Indigo Bunting photographs. Here you can see a lot of the light color on the bottom of this beautiful bird. Beautiful shot that she got right here of the Indigo Bunting. And here is another photograph of the Indigo Bunting. I think this is in a similar perch to where I got mine during this part of our photo shoot. We really like these Indigo Buntings and have gotten a lot of photos of them this year. Well, we are getting hungry. We haven't had breakfast and it's almost 11 o'clock. And what was supposed to be a barred owl expedition turned into a Warbler and Vireo expedition, and that's perfectly fine with us. It was kind of fun breaking out my old favorite from years past, the D500 and the 200-500. And this is Heather's first time shooting with her new 100-500 on my R6. Soon we will both be using that lens on Canon R7s, but the cameras have not gotten here yet. Today is June the 5th, and I don't know when this video will come out, probably way into July, and by that time we should have our R7s by the time this video airs. And you may have already seen some R7 content on the channel before you see this, because I'm going to kind of move that to the front. So anyway, Chickamauga Battlefield turns out to be a pretty good area for birding if you go to weird maintenance areas. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like the content, give us a lens up. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.